Imagine for a second an African empire that went toe-to-toe with Rome, a superpower of the ancient world that, for many of us, has been almost completely forgotten. Well, today, we're digging up the incredible story of Aksum.
I mean, really think about that. What if one of the greatest empires of the ancient world wasn't in Europe or Asia, but right there in Africa? An empire so powerful, so influential, that its rivals considered it one of the big four on the entire planet.
And this wasn't some backwater kingdom, not by a long shot. Aksum was minting its own gold, silver, and bronze coins. That's a power move. It's basically a declaration to the world that you're on the same level as the other great empires.
And get this, their engineers built these absolutely massive stone obelisks. We're talking huge, towering monoliths that have somehow survived for centuries, just standing there as silent proof of this lost, grand civilization. How on earth did they do it?
Okay, so let's get into it. We are about to uncover the amazing story of the Kingdom of Aksum, a true cornerstone of African history that, honestly, it just reshapes how we should see the ancient world.
All right, first things first. How did Aksum get so incredibly powerful? Well, the story starts with one of the oldest rules in the book when it comes to building an empire. It's all about location, location, location.
You see, Aksum was situated right in the Horn of Africa, which was the absolute perfect spot to become a master of trade. It basically controlled a global crossroads, linking the Roman Empire in the west with the riches of India and the African interior. This wasn't just good geography, it was the engine that powered their entire empire.
And the stuff they were trading? Wow. We're talking about luxury goods that everybody in the ancient world wanted. Ivory, gold, emeralds, exotic spices, fragrant incense, you name it. This trade network just pumped a staggering amount of wealth into the kingdom, and that's what paid for all their incredible achievements.
And here's the proof of just how big they were on the world stage. Back in the 3rd century, the Persian prophet Mani made a list of the world's great powers. Who was on it? Rome, Persia, China, and Aksum. And that wasn't some Aksumite bragging, that was the competition sizing them up.
So, with all this money pouring in, you get a golden age, an era of amazing culture, new faith, and some seriously mind-blowing engineering. Let's take a look at some of Aksum's greatest hits.
Okay, the most famous things they left behind are these stelae. Now, these aren't just stone pillars, they're gigantic obelisks, carved from a single piece of stone, made to look like skyscrapers with fake doors and windows. They mark the tombs of kings and nobles, just a stunning display of power and genius.
And it wasn't just about architecture. They had their own unique written language, Giz, which let them record their own history, their own faith. You put that together with their own money, and what you have are the clear signs of a very advanced, very confident civilization. What's really cool is that their coins tell a story of a huge change. Before the 4th century, their coins had all these polytheistic symbols on them. But then, something dramatic happens, and suddenly Aksum becomes the very first state in the world to put the Christian cross on its money. So what happened? Well, this huge shift was thanks to King Ezana. He was influenced by a Syrian Christian missionary named Frumentius and decided to embrace this new faith. In this decision, it wasn't just about religion. It was a really smart political move that tightened their alliances with the Christian Roman Empire and totally redefined Aksum's identity for centuries. But you know how these stories go. Just like with Rome and Persia, Aksum's golden age couldn't go on forever. Its end wasn't one big sudden event. It was more like a slow, painful fade, caused by what you might call a perfect storm of problems.
Yeah, there was no single smoking gun here. It was more like a domino effect. First, new empires rose up in the 7th century, and global trade routes shifted away from the Red Sea. That slowly cut off Aksum's money supply. On top of that, you had an environmental disaster brewing. The climate got drier, and centuries of farming had just worn out the land. So weakened from the inside, the final blow, at least according to legend, came from an invasion by a warrior queen named Gudit, who supposedly burned the capital to the ground. So the empire itself might have collapsed, but here's the incredible thing. Its influence never really went away. In fact, you can still feel the echoes of Aksum all over the region today. Remember that Giz script we talked about? It's not some dead language you only find carved in stone. It's alive. Today, it's the sacred language of the Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church. That's a direct, unbroken link all the way back to King Ezana over 1,700 years ago. Just amazing.
And you want a powerful symbol of this legacy? Look no further than the great obelisk of Aksum. They put it up in the 4th century. Then, in 1937, Italian invaders stole it and took it to Rome. But after decades of tough negotiations, it was finally brought back home in 2005. That journey of creation, of loss, and of return, it's really the story of Ethiopia itself in miniature.
And this legacy, it's so much more than just language and monuments. It is woven into the very soul of Ethiopia and Eritrea, from their unique form of Christianity all the way back to the 4th century, to the powerful belief that Aksum is the final resting place of the actual Ark of the Covenant. This isn't just ancient history to them, it's living faith.
The story of Aksum is such a powerful reminder that the version of history most of us learned is, well, it's incomplete. It's full of these forgotten giants. It proves that a lost world can leave behind a legacy that still shapes cultures today. And it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other incredible stories are out there, just waiting to be told, ready to change everything we think we know about our past?